Good evening, YouTube. Hardball Crazy come back with a video. Today I got a pretty exciting video for you. Got a very epic card in the mail just recently. As you may know, if the long-time viewers, you know I have going after some playing days cards of ex-Negro Leaguers, and I just picked up a very rare one, steel line from Mangini. Very rare, ultra rare, super rare. First time ever seen this card. This card, I'll tell you a bit more about it, but a little backstory. First of all, I don't know if you guys are into the listen to my baseball podcasts. I do a little bit here and there. So I was listening to Rob Neyer's Saber podcast. Talked to the gentleman who did a lot of research on seamshead.com, building stats. He's the seamshead.com is their database of going through old Negro League publications, newspapers, and trying to get box scores to compile official stats of Negro Leaguers. And we know since last December or so, Negro Leagues officially became a major league. So these Negro League stats are now officially major league stats. And so during this interview with this gentleman of seamshead.com, I can't remember his name, they're discussing players. And of course, if you ever go through afterwards, for the most part, for many years, that the players are I would say of lore or of a little mystique about them. We really don't know the stats. We just kind of know anything about them. But once you get stats in them, you might find somebody. You get the stats. Josh Gibson, yes, he was really great. He kind of proves that how great his player he was. And of course, you end up finding stats of a player that you didn't realize how good they were until you see the stats of them. And one of the players he mentioned was this gentleman. Of course, he was on my radar prior because I did research on Negro Leaguers for my, who play the major leagues and who's Negro League stars, and trying to get many different Negro Leaguers from playing days cards. So he was already existed in my head, and so the guy I'm talking about is Buster Clarkson. James Buster Clarkson, or Buzz Clarkson, or Buzz Clarkson. No, this is not my big mail day. This is actually the only card of all those Negro League sets that came about from the 70s, were those Laughlin sets, Black Stars, kind of a caricature art sets through the 80s. This is the Elliot Frisch set in the 90s, and up to the recent with the Greg Kreindler. If I have this gentleman here, I bought this set last year, 100th anniversary. It was like the art set of his thing, and he's not even in any of those sets. The only set he's in is this Larry Frisch set. There's a little bio on what teams he played for. So there's a couple sets in the late 40s, mid to late 40s, and the early 50s of Negro Leaguers who played in Cuba and Puerto Rican sets. You may know of Caramelo Deportivo. I have a couple of them. The mid 40s, about from 45 to about 48 or so. The Cuban guys who played in Cuba in the Winter Leagues has sets. There's also the Toloteros set. They came from like the mid 40s to like 50-51. And various sets, and there's one I picked up, the 50-51 Toloteros in action set of Mr. Buster Clarkson. According to SGC's set registry, this is the only one on there. PSA doesn't have any on there, so I don't even know how many cards of this is in existence. I found this on eBay as SGC3. I really like this card because of the Totalteros in Action series. There's a couple years they did that, and it basically says, just in action cards and has like a bio, and actually mentions Buster Clarkson in here. I guess according to the description, the subtle one of these players in the background with Clarkson is Piper Davis, if you know your Negro League's history. But some of them just says, safer out or running the bases, and basically has pictures that really doesn't have description who the player is. This has a description who it is, and also tells it on the slab too. So this is a Buster Clarkson set, SGC. He had it on auction. It was conveniently during an eBay promotion, eBay Bucks promotion, 5% promotion. So he had it a dollar amount, and or best offer. I gave him a little bit, knocked off a few bucks. He got him the best offer, and he within hours he accepted my offer, and I paid for it, and came from Canada. I'm very happy to add this Buster Clarkson to my Negro League Playing Days collection. More about Buster Clarkson. He was a shortstop. He played debuted in the Negro Leagues in the late 30s and played until the late 40s or so. His Negro League stats are kind of sporadic because he didn't miss time because of World War II. He served the country, and during some of those years he didn't play in the Negro Leagues. He went to played in the Mexican League, played very well there. So his stats is kind of sporadic. Maybe that's why he's not in these major Negro League's all-time great sets, but he performed very well everywhere he went. This set, the Totalteros in Action set, is from the Puerto Rican Winter Leagues, where he was a legend. He was played into his 40s for Puerto Rico in the Puerto Rican League in the Caribbean Series. He played along with Willie Mays and a young Roberto Clemente. They won a Caribbean Series. I believe he was the first player manager to win a series, the Caribbean Series. And a year or so ago, he was inducted posthumously into the Caribbean Series Hall of Fame. Of course, the Caribbean Series is still going strong. And he was a legend in Puerto Rico. He actually lived in Puerto Rico for a while. He played in the Negro Leagues. He made at least one I know of, maybe a couple East-West All-Star games. The shortstop, he played a little bit of third base too. He ended up signing for the Milwaukee Braves, played in their minor league thing, and played very well. And actually debuted for the Milwaukee Braves in his late 30s, like 1952 or so. It was like towards the end of his career, and he only got like 25 at-bats. And playing in the Texas League and played in the Pacific Coast League, and had solid stats throughout his career. James Buster Clarkson. So I'm not sure he'll ever get in the Hall of Fame, but he is a Negro League legend. Played very good hitter. Legend says that he once was walked with the bases loaded. It says in the back here, if you read it. Satchel Paige said he once walked on the bases loaded. That's how much of a good hitter he was. You see where he played Negro League career. Buster Clarkson, Negro League legend. Very happy to add this to my collection. Very hard to find, very rare. I paid a decent amount for it, but if they're still very priced, those Totalteros cards could be very pricey, especially for the known ones. The regular cards like the portraits, there's regular card sets like the portraits of Negro Leaguers. I have been outbid a couple times for Sam Hairston, and who was a Negro League star. Jerry Hairston Jr., Scott Hairston's grandfather, who was a coach of the White Sox. I was once outbid on a Totalteros card of him. It's like a portrait card, just him. And I was outbid on a Quincy Troop. So catcher, great Negro League catcher back in the day. But I'm very happy to add this Buster Clarkson to my collection. I'm onward looking for other Negro Leaguers add to my playing days PC. Thank you for watching, and all have a good night.